Belligerent Brown Boys, episode Ocho. We here.
Welcome back, everybody.
It is hot out there, man.
Yeah, it's almost hitting, feels like 40. It's a hot day in TO.
We got up to what, 38 with the Humidex today?
Or was it 38? Yeah,
I thought
it was almost hitting 40.
Man, we're pushing 40.
Yeah, it was pretty hot.
Contrary to what people might feel about this weather, I love it.
Yeah, you got a free sauna out there. Like, we get like 4 months of true summer. I'll take it. I'm not complaining.
I'd say two.
Two. We get two, yeah.
Maybe I'm pushing it.
Yeah.
Right? But, June was pretty good, right? September is usually pretty good. I'd say, decently, we got 4 months.
We're July 5th, and we're hitting 40-degree Humidex already. August, we're going to be losing poundage.
Yeah.
Walking to the car and walking back to your door.
Beach days are here. Gotta be hitting the beach soon.
Standing. Do it. We'll let the water safe. The water's usually pretty good these days at the beaches. It's not that bad.
It's not too bad. As long as, you gotta hit, it's tough. Especially for those of us that gotta work Monday to Friday. When you're going on a weekend, it's just slammed.
Yeah.
Right? You want to take a day off on a weekday and go.
But even the water quality, there was one summer, every beach along Lake Ontario just red flag.
Yeah.
Red flag.
I don't know about the beaches on Lake Ontario.
Yeah, you got to find ones that are out past, if you're going east, out past Kingston.
Yeah.
Or if you're going, going west, you don't really have much of a choice because you're going down Niagara.
No, so it's not too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once you get outside of the GTA, a couple hours out, it's pretty good.
Even up north, Georgian Bay's decent.
Georgian Bay is amazing. I think Georgian Bay is awesome.
Yeah. What's the lake that hits
Sable?
No, Grand Bend. Is it Superior?
Leo.
I think it's Superior. The one that has the crazy waves, when it gets really windy.
Oh, Grand Bend.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. I'm sorry. I was thinking Sable, the other side.
But Sable's still Georgian Bay, I think.
Georgian Bay, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. We've been living here our whole life. I think we should have figured out that map by now.
Especially when we don't get a lot of options.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Superior that's out by Grand Bend.
Yeah, Grand Bend's pretty nice.
I haven't been there in so long, man. But I heard is it still like the Jersey Shore out there, or have it they fixed it up, cleaned it up?
It was nice during COVID because it was not a lot of people. We did go a couple times during COVID, but I haven't been since. But yeah, the vibe was still there.
Word. When was the last time you were at the Wild Water Kingdom? Sorry, what's it called now? Splashworks?
Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
I still call it Wild Water Kingdom.
I completely forgot what it's called, and we've been there
we go there all at the I range, but
yeah, last time we were at I range, it was pretty packed.
Yeah,
it was pretty busy there.
Is it called Splashworks now?
Something like that.
Yeah,
it's definitely something like that.
Yeah, it's not Wild Water Kingdom anymore. But
I'll always call it Wild Water Kingdom.
Yeah, let's just stick to Wild Water Kingdom.
Yeah,
it's like the Sky Dome.
Sky Dome, ACC.
ACC,
Yeah. Wild Water Kingdom, it's a water park here in GTA. And I haven't been there in 25 years.
Bro, I was in middle school, probably. Middle school, maybe grade 9. We're talking about, turn of the century. So it's been a long time.
The Y2K Wild Water Kingdom.
Yeah.
But they've been putting up some new slides and fixing it up. It just looks like it's just they're adding more and more to it.
Yeah, the parking lot they're expanding. So
probably they got a lot of land, right? I think behind it is all native reserve, right? Because I know there's a native campground right behind there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So they're probably expanding.
Yeah, they might. And the guy who held on to that, man, he was in it for the long run. He was really hoping that casino plan worked out.
Yeah.
Because Toronto finally got the casino people.
Yeah.
Woodbine's full blown.
Yeah, they go all out. Now.
Degenerate gambling now.
We gotta hit it up. Gotta hit it up in the fall for sure.
Nothing like a good summer day. Bet on some ponies. play some blackjack.
Woodbine's a place I haven't been in at least 10 years.
Yeah, no, they got
Black
full.
casino.
They got full tables
What,
now.
the casino or the
Yeah.
mall?
No, to the casino.
Oh, the casino?
Yeah.
Because before it was just mostly slots.
Yeah, it was only slots. So once
Yeah.
it,
No, and they had
When
the
it-
virtual poker.
They had the virtual poker and stuff.
oh, did they?
Yeah,
Yeah. They
That's
didn't
why
have
I was
like.
asking. I'm like, is it like a full blown casino now?
I think
'Cause I'm
now-
just like, I didn't like it back then.
I think the renos are almost done, or they're still going, but it should be full blown.
Full blown casino,
Yeah.
10 restaurants, fast food court, 400 room hotel. They got the 2 theaters opening, I think, by the end of the year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like some performing arts center or whatever. They're going full like
This
All
was
in.
resort complex.
this
thing
was in the
with that.
90s. This plan, listen to this. This plan was in the 90s. We were talking about. It only took them 20 plus years
Yeah,
to finally figure it out.
Because-
that's city planning for you.
yeah. City planning plus the people who are running it for some reason don't like to have revenue coming in for some reason.
Makes no
Right.
sense.
They had the original plan too to have a casino built where Ontario Place is now. How
Yeah.
amazing would that have been?
Hey, that's on Toronto because that's on the
Yeah.
resident. That's
Yeah,
on
yeah.
us because the people voted no. So that's like in Toronto, most people voted no.
I mean, it was the people that lived in the area. Like, oh, we don't want that kind of crowd coming here. But yeah, but if they're going to the casino, buddy, they're not going to come to your front lawn and sit there and like just get hammered.
Yeah.
They're going to the casino. Why is it bothering you so much?
I think this is obviously pre sports legalization, right? Like now the world of sports and gambling, the legalization of sports gambling and online sports books has kind of just
Changed
opened-
everything.
Yeah,
It's
it's opened
promoted
the,
everywhere now.
it's opened the floodgates.
Like, look, it's promoted to kids on Twitch, right? Streamers are promoting it, right? Any sports you watch now, it's DraftKings, Proline, or, you know,
yeah.
any of these sports
Yeah.
books.
And all these athletes are just popping up on all these ads.
Yeah.
McDavid's on what? Him and Gretzky or MGM?
Yeah,
I think-
GM.
Barkley, FanDuel.
Barkley's on
like, you know,
FanDuel. Those Barkley commercials are
Pat
pretty.
McAfee's on FanDuel. A
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of these guys are on FanDuel.
Yeah, man. Like it was a while because we did have Proline here, but let's be honest, Proline wasn't
It wasn't it.
it.
It still
Yeah,
doesn't.
it was very, very simplified, right? And there was a lot of
Yeah.
restrictions. Some sports weren't even allowed. Single game betting wasn't even allowed.
No, you were stuck to just making like a parlay of minimum 3 games. That's
Yeah.
that's all it was.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but Proline did do one thing that was really fun. You know, like when they do the NFL, they have the weekly pools where you just pick the winner,
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
right? Like that was all right.
That was one. Yeah, that was the only thing I did.
yeah,
That.
you box like 4 games, $80, no problem, right? You box the Sunday nighter, the Monday nighter.
Mhm.
So by the time Sunday afternoon rolls around, you already know if you won or not.
Yeah, there was just no variety though. in
Yeah,
betting.
but them legalizing like the sports books now, it's changed the game, man.
Yeah, it really has.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. I'm not gonna lie. Every time I get those notifications for like, oh, here's the boost for today, here's the special for today.
Yeah.
Like, all right, cool, not a problem. $1, let's go.
These are my 2 months where it's just downtime. Once September rolls around and that NFL season kicks off, that's when we go back in full board.
Not gonna lie, boys. I put $1 on Joey Chestnut yesterday. On the over under for the hot dog eating contest.
What was the over under?
The over under was 72.5.
So he hit the under.
He hit
I heard
I
it.
took the under.
Oh yeah, I was what 62.
He's 62.
62.
This
yeah,
guy-
I saw that.
This guy, he lapped the field. By the time he got to like hot dog 60, he was already like 15 ahead of whoever was next, right?
Holy.
So the last 2 hot dogs, he just enjoyed.
All right.
Like
all right.
if you watch the video,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
people watch the video of Joey Chestnut ending this. This is his 16th straight win, eh?
That's
That's insane.
This guy, one of the greatest athletes of all time.
I don't know who I saw someone tweet this from the NBA. I forgot who it was. I forgot who it was, which one, but he was like, "Yeah, is this the greatest of all time? Like he's the goat, greatest athlete of all
Greatest athlete
time."
of all
I mean, okay, let's break it down for a second here. Hot dog eating. How many hot dogs can you have before you're like, you know what, I'm good. I'm probably not gonna eat for like a couple hours.
A couple.
A couple, right?
Yeah, like okay, let's push it to 4 maybe.
4 regular sized hot dogs.
Yeah, 4
But
regular
wait,
size
are
hot
they?
dogs.
They're just eating just the hot dog itself, or is it in like a bun and like in the bread?
No, you're
and all that?
chowing down the bun too.
You know what? I've never really paid attention to that. Just because I'm so
Yeah.
amazed at like how they're doing it.
I feel like it's
or is it
the
just
hot dog,
straight
right?
glizzies?
And is it uncooked? Is it like straight out the bag? And they
No,
I don't know,
of course
man.
no,
not,
like that.
dude.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you, I feel like I've seen it, and it just
Dude.
looks like
These
The hot dogs are cooked. No one's eating raw hot dogs and trying to kill themselves.
I don't know anymore.
Okay, like that's a good question because I've never actually paid attention to how they're eating the hot dogs.
While you look this up,
Yeah.
it's pretty crazy to win 16 times in a row.
Oh
But
no,
I-
bro, they're in buns.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's what I'm
then,
saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
then definitely like maybe 3, 4.
Okay, so this guy.
So this guy's clearly got an advantage. His body, his stomach, metabolism, whatever he's doing, he's mastered.
It's years of training, discipline
Yeah, you got
to be the best. Okay, this
Yes.
guy to win this thing 16 years in a row.
You get to a point where it's like, why even have this? Like, can anybody even compete?
Somebody's gotta.
Eventually.
There's probably a guy out there right now. You know,
Yeah.
like
That's
screw
insanity.
this Joey Chestnut guy.
Like, are
Next-
you just throwing up the hot dogs after? Like, what happens after you have your 60-second hot dog?
dude? He set the record last year, 71.
Oh man. Oh, so that's why I was.
I
set
think
at
that's why it was
72.5.
72.5. But I'm like, I don't think they were gonna do it. It actually got delayed a bit because of weather.
Oh,
So is
okay,
there a
okay.
time limit on this thing?
I think so.
Right? Like, you can't just sit there and be like, I'm
No,
just
no,
taking my
100%.
time,
There's a
right?
time.
Yeah,
limit.
it's not gonna-
like you eat until you can't anymore.
Yeah.
Kill
Yeah.
That
yourself.
might even be more fascinating. Eating
No.
62.
Then you're hurting. Then you're hurting yourself. Like
Yeah.
people are just gonna be like, no, I can keep going. I can keep going. Right.
Yeah, like even Man versus Food had time limit on all the challenges he did. Man versus Food. That okay. Back in the day, like the original host for Man versus Food.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure you watched it. We all watched it, right?
I watched it a little bit.
Okay. Some of these challenges he did, I felt like, I'm watching. I'm like, I can do that.
Maybe. Like, I was just like, some of this stuff was crazy. So I was like, like, I don't eat a lot anyways. And then when I'm watching this stuff, I just, like, I don't know how these guys do it.
There were some really absurd ones. Like there was like, what was it? This guy had like a 10-pound plate of nachos and he had like 40 minutes to finish it or
That's
something.
crazy.
That's too much.
Yeah. And there's also my guy on YouTube. Shout outs to LA Beast. That guy does like some crazy stuff
yeah,
too,
yeah,
man.
yeah. He does some insane.
I
insane
love that
stuff.
guy.
I don't know who that is.
LA Beast. So this guy, he'll just do like random eating things videos,
Mhm.
right? And it'll be like, and he's a big like 90s guy too, right? Like
Yeah.
like his whole thing is just like, I'm a 90s kid and I love the 90s.
Mhm.
So he has like some videos where people send him like, what was that, the high C ecto cooler from like the Ghostbusters movies from back in the day?
Mhm.
They send him that. He's eating like 20-year-old Doritos bags,
Oh my.
right? He'll have like 20-year-old Crystal Pepsi. He single-handedly brought back Crystal Pepsi.
Yeah, is that a thing now?
Why? Like his video blew up and they like.
So for like the longest time, he's just like, bring back Crystal Pepsi. And he just had all these Crystal Pepsi bottles that he either got from eBay
Mhm.
or people sent him.
Yep.
And Pepsi actually finally got in touch with the guy and they wanted to talk to him. So he made a video of going to Pepsi headquarters. And then right after that, he's like,
Of course.
I have an announcement. Crystal Pepsi's back, all because of
Wow.
him. Yeah.
It's also a way for
Okay.
Pepsi to market, right? That's why. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
These online platforms, these guys have such huge advertising platforms now.
but this guy, man, if you guys haven't seen LA Beast, please go to his channel, watch, subscribe to this guy. He is awesome.
I'm gonna check it out. After this
Great,
podcast
like
now.
he's such a great dude too. Like you want to be his friend,
Yep.
right? But just be warned, like there are some videos where like he really pushes it and he just starts
You don't want
yakking
to see the
everywhere,
Oh
outcome.
man.
right? And just the music that he adds to every time he starts throwing up.
So he puts on a show.
He puts on a show. The guy's a showman, man.
Entertainer.
Greatest Showman. Was that the Hugh Jackman movie?
I gotta take a look now.
Yeah, he watch LA Beast.
Something showman.
Yeah. But just going back to Joey Chestnut, the greatest athlete of all time. There's just something about eating 62 hot dogs in whatever time. Like just I don't think people eat 62 hot dogs in like a decade.
Yeah, I don't like. I'm probably not gonna eat 62 hot dogs in like the next 5 years, 10 years.
Like the Jays, they do
So
that
it's-
the loony hot dog Tuesdays or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the dollar hot dogs.
But even then, like you're looking at it, you're like loony hot dogs. That's great. I'll get two.
Yeah, two. Okay, let's say you
Me
get
one.
2,
Or
3
one.
maybe. Right, like
Yeah. Or like what's that other one they started? The poutine hot dog
yeah.
Have they ever done it with a different food?
eating contest.
Yeah. Is it
There,
always
there
hot
probably are, but like this
dog? No,
Joey
this
Chestnut.
specific one. Yeah. It's
Oh no,
always
this
just
is
a
always
dog.
hot dogs. Yeah, because this is like
Yeah.
the Coney Island hot dog eating contest.
I
or
wonder why
something.
this like eating hot dogs became like
Okay, so
the
then
one
he
that
can't be
stood
the
out.
greatest athlete of all time unless he branches into other food.
No, but that's like, well, I mean, how many?
It's too specific.
But that's like saying hockey, like a basketball player can't be the greatest athlete of all time because he only plays basketball.
No, but like there's different leagues and the highest level of basketball. Is a hot dog the highest level of food eating?
That's a good,
Man, the guy's eating 62 hot dogs with a bun.
But the Coney Island hot
I
dog
know.
eating contest is like the Premier League of like eating contests, right?
All right. Well,
I think the whole thing's insane.
Yeah, shout outs Joey Chestnut, man. Greatest athlete of all time. You're awesome, bro. That guy's great, man. But I saw the you ever see some people who eat the hot dogs, but they just like inhale them?
Isn't
Yeah,
that what
yeah.
he's doing? Like
Pretty
isn't
much,
he
but you
just,
see
like,
him kind of bite. But there's some people that just like they're like the glizzy just goes in and it's gone.
yeah.
like for those of you who
It's like a suction.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
just like goes
Like,
in.
think
very,
about-
very questionable.
like think about like we were at a party last week and you know we just lined up and everyone was going we were chugging a beer, right? Like we're chugging a beer and now imagine trying to chug hot dogs.
Dude, this guy's stomach's got to be something.
Like,
Science,
just to put
science
that into
better study this
perspective,
guy.
like that's insane.
Yeah. I'm like, why aren't there scientists lined up to be like, buddy, can we like check you out? Like,
Yeah,
like,
what's
we
your
need,
stomach made out of?
yeah, we need to figure it out, right? Well, I'm pretty sure Neil deGrasse Tyson has a video out there explaining it all anyway, because the guy's got the answer to everything
For
anyway,
everything,
right?
Yeah.
Jeez, relax, Neil. Take it easy, man.
And you don't have to be angry all the time.
Yeah.
You know when he's
Yeah.
explaining things? Like,
Yeah.
if you ask him a question, he'll get angry.
Yeah, it's like he just asked them the most absurd thing, especially when
Yeah, now that you mention it, I never thought of that.
yeah,
like-
like the dude's an educator, right?
Yeah, but
But-
he does try to make it fun. Like
He does
Yeah,
make it
you
fun,
know.
and the amount of knowledge this guy has in his head is very impressive.
Like his Netflix series, I still think is some of the best that's been made. Where it's just for science.
What, Cosmos?
Cosmos, yeah,
Mm.
big
Yeah,
fan of Cosmos.
yeah,
Very
no.
well done. Where the production's great.
You
That's a great show.
you ever see him when people want to talk to him about like the whole ancient alien theory? He gets so upset.
So I think anything
Really?
that
yeah, he just like, why is it every time we don't have an answer to something, it's aliens?
Yeah, I think honestly, anytime he's pushed to speak about something that is uncomfortable or isn't just mainstream science, you can tell that's when he gets agitated, right? Or he does that really bugs him,
Yeah,
which is unfortunate because, that's the curiosity that you want young people to have, to ask questions and to want to explore, to, push to the fringes of these things of science. So, I think that kind of does a disservice to, kind of his whole message and making science fun.
yeah. But Buddy needs to take a chill pill.
He does.
Like,
He
yeah,
really
like,
does.
he really needs to like chill out when people talk about this kind of stuff. You can't just
Yeah.
you can't just dismiss it and just be like, oh, science.
Yeah, I
Right?
think he has so much knowledge and he just wants to share it so bad that it comes off so aggressive,
You-
right? Like he'll cut you off and he'll be like, start just going at it.
Sorry to do this, but like COVID obviously, put a lot of things in perspective. I don't think we'll be hearing, follow the science, oh, it's just science, thrown at us anymore like it was for 2 years.
What if it's like a case of they really don't want it to be true because then like their entire life dedicated to this one thing is just blown up. Like what if somehow we find like concrete evidence that, hey man, the aliens built the pyramids?
So that's true in all sciences, and especially in fields of, archaeology. I know we spent a few minutes talking about Graham last episode. And if you didn't catch that, definitely check it out. That's been a big problem in archaeology for decades is people are so tied to their life's work. So anything that, fringes upon changing their narrative or their discovery, they really fight back against that.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because that's why Hancock's banned from Egypt,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because the guy who runs, so apparently,
Oh, that's Zahi Hawass.
yeah, and I liked him too, man.
So it was interesting. There's a long history which dates back to, I don't know if Graham's story is just part of the narrative, because this dates back almost now 40 years. And, he was the curator for such a long time. And I know they did that documentary in, maybe it was the early 2000s, where they were going to, do that. I think it was Discovery. They're going to dig up the...
Oh, they were going to open the tomb. Sorry, not open the tomb. There was like the tunnels under the Sphinx or something?
Yeah, so under the Sphinx, the front left paw of the Sphinx. So there's, sonar and radar had shown that there was a gap. So they were going to drill into it. And this was filmed for everybody on TV. I think Discovery was doing the project. What they did was they ended up hitting a wall. And that's it. And they stopped. And after that, Zahi was just shut everything down. Then obviously we know the war in Iraq happened. There was a bunch of museums that were looted. There was political turmoil. I think Zahi was arrested. I think he was pretty sure he was thrown behind bars, and then he came back out. He got his position back. There's a lot of things going back and forth, but basically, in general, most research has been, unless it's mainstream, it goes with Egyptology. It's been banned in Egypt, especially for outsiders.
But it's like, but what Hancock is saying, he's not trying to take anything away from like the ancient Egyptians. All he's saying is like there could be something else.
Mm-hmm.
It could be older than what we're thinking. There could have been somebody there.
Yep.
Right. So let's just look into that rather than saying nope.
You can't do
from,
anything.
Yeah, from X day, this is how it is.
Yeah.
Done.
And this is like just going back to how we started this conversation, right? This is the problem in a lot of fields of science. Like you said, guys like these, men and women get tied to their life's work. You're spending 40, 50 years, developing, whatever you're developing, your theory, your discovery, whatever it is that you're doing. They get so tied to that they'll have to defend and protect it no matter what. And a lot of times, even if they're proven wrong, just like, the discovery, hey, no civilization was older than the Sumerians. And then Göbekli Tepe happened. And how many from the amount of scientists and, archaeologists at the top of their field that pushed back against that narrative, how many of them came out and said they were wrong?
Yeah.
Right? Like their egos kick in.
Are you familiar with Göbekli Tepe?
No.
Okay, because that's wild. Göbekli Tepe. So they discovered this in Turkey, right? And they said what? This is 20,000 years?
So right now it could.
Or is it 15? Whatever.
No, the speculation is it could be older.
Yeah.
It's hard, obviously, because we can't date rock, right? This is a big issue in archaeology because you can't carbon date rocks. So you basically have to carbon date, soil samples. You're looking for things around that.
Like organic, has to be organic.
Organic material.
Yeah.
And the deeper you go, the older you get, right? And so I think I forgot the German scientist's name who had discovered, the archaeologists that discovered the site originally I think it was discovered in 1995, but it was the mid 90s, early to mid 90s when it was first discovered. It's taken them that long just to, get to what they've dug up now. Mm-hmm. And right now it's dated back to 12,000 years.
12,000.
Right?
Yeah.
So
that's predating the pyramids by a significant chunk, right? Wow. And so the one crazy part about it is like they have these pillars. And on the pillars is like they have these carvings or these engravings of animals that aren't they aren't local to that region of the world.
Okay.
Right? So it's like, how would these guys know that these things exist if they weren't there?
And
But again, we're also assuming that they weren't there because we're basing it on of what we know now.
And
Yeah.
because of
Right.
exactly, and because we haven't found something, doesn't necessarily mean it wasn't there,
Yeah.
right? That's the that's what.
Were they like animals that we know of, or like?
Yeah, like lizards and hogs and
Okay,
and all
okay.
this kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
but in that region, they're like, these things aren't local to it.
Mhm.
So how do they know about it?
Yeah.
But maybe 12,000 years ago, these things were all over the place.
Yeah.
So the reason we bring up that date, and if you're familiar with Graham's work, if you're familiar with a lot of the ancient archaeology work that many folks have done, that date is significant because it goes back to, as Randall Carlson put it, the Younger Dryas, and something happened in that period of time, 12,500 years ago. And the theory is, which is obviously now gathered a ton of momentum. It's mainstream. Graham's show on Netflix obviously put it out there for everybody to see. The comet impact theory has gained a lot of momentum, and the core sampling that they've done in, Greenland and different parts of the world shows that something hit the earth, or there was massive glacial melting 12,500 years ago.
Yeah.
So all those flood myths that every culture around the world has, so you see it in the Bible, you see it all over the place, actually happened. And that was the world flood.
Yeah. Because if you look at any like Abrahamic religion, they all have that story about the flood.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's basically what he's saying is like the flood could have been this,
Yeah.
which changed everything. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing that to this day that still creeps me out, and I don't think we're ever gonna like actually get to the bottom of, is Antarctica.
We know so little about Antarctica.
Yeah, like it's a weird kind of treaty that, what is it, like 8 countries have?
Yeah, I think 8 countries signed it.
Yeah. So apparently, no one country can stake claim to Antarctica, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's this treaty between like 8 or 9 countries that basically say, look, we all have to agree to keep our hands off of this. And if anybody does something, that's problems. Right? And I think, who was it? Hancock or Alex Jones said that World War III will start not because of something political, but because somebody goes and drills in Antarctica.
I think Alex has brought that up
Wow.
in the past a few times.
Yeah.
And it's actually 12 countries.
But it's
And
also
it
like,
was signed in 1959.
yeah, like
So
I don't,
no one can even step, like,
it's very controlled.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you need like to have, like your clearance has to be approved
You
by
gotta
like
jump
15
through
levels.
hoops, yeah, tons of clearances.
You have to have like a guide with you while you're
Yeah.
there.
Everything's documented.
Yeah, you can't like touch anything. You can't put a shovel in the ground.
Mhm.
And there's certain areas of Antarctica that you can't even get to. Not because it's impossible to get to. It's just they just stop you,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. So
So
that begs the
There's
question: what's
some-
there?
exactly,
there's
What are they
some-
hiding?
There's some crazy
Yeah.
places, right? Like we know of, like we know Area 51. Okay, Area 51, okay, you can chop it up to, hey, it's a government facility. The minute you step near it, remember, you don't need to be on the property. You step near it, there's black helicopters flying over. There's jets flying over, right? You're warned. You can be killed on sight, right? There's another interesting one. I don't want to misrepresent it, but there is a area in, you know what? Give me a couple of minutes. I'm going to look this up for you guys. I'm going to tell you about another spot where if you go near it, there's literally black helicopters that start flying over and it's blocked off. And it's in the United States.
is it Black Mesa?
No. I'm going to pull this up.
But anyway, just going back to Antarctica, what is it about there that they're trying to keep under wraps, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't buy the whole we don't want to contaminate it. You've contaminated the entire planet.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't
Right?
buy that at all.
Like, it's got to be something else. Is it resources? Like, is there something there that everybody wants, but they're all like, "Hey, man, if nobody can, if one guy can't have it, nobody can have it."
Mhm.
Is it vibranium? No, but
Maybe
you know,
it's proof that the Earth is flat
or the hey,
for
maybe.
the flat earthers.
Or hey, Kyrie, what up? Or is it something like Alien versus Predator Requiem?
Yeah,
Right? Not a great movie, but it was
gotta be
still a fun
something, yeah,
watch.
and I've never thought of this, but now
Yeah.
that you told me,
Because now there's like these satellite images of Antarctica showing like, you know, they're saying, oh, it's a mountain, but it's a 4-sided pyramid.
hmm
That doesn't really occur in nature with like straight lines and stuff, right?
yeah, yeah,
So I mean, what the heck is that?
yeah.
Right? Is it like King Kong? Like, is there like, are dinosaurs living in some cave underneath Antarctica? Because I think at one
Oh,
point,
you guys-
Are there theories?
You guys are thinking about Journey to the Center of the Earth.
So-
no, but still, no, I'm just throwing it all out there, right? Because
Yeah.
movies, when they create these things, they're getting these ideas from somewhere.
Yeah.
Are
Like
there-
there's been theories of inner Earth. You know, like we
Yeah,
can-
are there like legitimate theories? Like,
Oh, I can definitely present you some pretty convincing ones.
Yeah,
Um,
like Hancock is saying that at one point in Earth's history, Antarctica wasn't frozen; it was tropical,
mhm.
right? Which makes sense because
Remember, you have to-
continents move. There's
and you have to remember,
Yeah.
you know, long ago, millions of years ago, all the continents were connected, right? Pangea,
Pangea, yeah,
right? So they were all connected. There was really no Antarctica or North and South Pole. They existed, but it was in land masses.
Mhm.
And as they broke apart, that's how they kind of rotated over the millions of years and ended up where they are.
yeah. So who knows what kind of like fossil records are buried under all that ice,
Yeah.
right? But it's weird. Like, why aren't you allowing this kind of research to happen? Like,
That
why?
is,
Why?
like,
Yeah.
no one's touching it. Like
No
no
one.
collaboration. Like nothing.
Nothing, man. It's like Antarctica's been split like a pie,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like this country's got this slice, this country's got this slice, but it's not claimed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just like, here's where we're gonna do our thing, but we're not gonna go into yours, and this is the one area that nobody's allowed to go into.
But we do
Wow.
have to mention that, look, it is an area where it's very, very difficult to research. It is, crazy cold. The
Okay,
equipment.
that doesn't stop anyone. Like,
Yeah.
we just had
No,
a
it doesn't-
ship go to the Titanic or try to.
Wait, fair enough. You know what? Fair enough. I think that cracks what I was going to say. I was going to be on the skeptic side and kind of give you guys an argument on why, there hasn't been many expeditions, but that, the submergible to see the Titanic kind of ends that, because if you leave people to their free will, they will go out and do dangerous things and want to explore. I think naturally we are explorers and treasure hunters in a way.
Yeah, and it's like it's so extreme that you're not allowed to do anything. That even drones, you can't even take a drone there.
Yeah.
Like, if you fly the drone over that area that no one's allowed to go, like, that's it. It's a wrap. You're done.
So this funny thing, that area I was talking about. So did you guys know there's actually a place in the Grand Canyon? There are obviously certain caves, and there's many caves,
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
right, that
Yeah.
are blocked off, that are basically gated for quote unquote your safety. And the minute you get anywhere near those areas, there are certain locations that instantly, within minutes, black helicopters will be flying over.
These aren't even tiny caves, man. They're big
Yeah.
enough for like planes.
And not just that. There's been many stories from the 50s and beyond that there's a really good story. We'll save that for another time. Just because you kind of there's a lot to it, but there was something that came out of there that was Egyptian. So there was Egyptian artifacts discovered in the Grand Canyon that went to the Smithsonian and just got lost. And you can dig up in the last 100 years how many things that have gone to the Smithsonian and have disappeared.
Are you familiar with Josh Gates?
Yes.
Expedition Unknown?
Mm-hmm.
Have you watched
No.
Expedition? He trailed that.
He trailed it. Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
So you're telling me that if you go near it and these helicopters come, what do? Like, people come down and they just yell at you to tell you, you know, you got
It's
to
intimidation,
go back, you gotta
right? Like
back.
when you're standing there and you see a Apache helicopter coming at you with guns ready to go, you're probably gonna turn around and walk away, right?
But you said it takes a couple minutes, so people haven't like just run in.
You
and
can't
not get that.
the whole.
No, but the
it's
thing is, you
blocked
can't
off.
get to it.
You can't get
Oh,
to
you
it.
can't even get to it.
Yeah. People are like they're
okay.
trying, but like even before the attempt is even there, like it's stopped.
Yeah.
But-
okay.
But no one knows the actual true location of the cave that had all that Egyptian
That had
stuff
the
in.
Egyptian, yeah. That
Right.
location
Because
is
there's so
kind of
many.
lost.
Yeah. So what they're doing is like they're taking the guy who originally found it. They're taking all his research and trying to piece it together.
It was
Okay,
just to
okay.
put
Yeah.
into context. We're talking about Kincaid's cave.
That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it was.
Okay,
called.
so they're trying to piece all this stuff together. Why aren't they just looking into it? Why aren't they just going in and
Again, it's
doing their own thing?
something that they probably don't want anyone to know.
Yeah.
This goes back to our discussion about the UFOs a few episodes ago.
Yeah,
Right? No one's ready for this kind of information.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or the information that they have is so out of this world that even they themselves are like, what do we do with this?
I think if you open the floodgates, I think the biggest thing is that, like, as you know, let's go back to Graham and his research and the things that they've put together. Like, I think there was a lot of cultures that are long lost that were intermingling, and a lot of things and a lot of the ways we think about the world today, you know, we've been basically told that we went from, like, it was linear. We went from cavemen, then we did this, we started, you know, living in communities, started farming, and we had the Industrial Revolution, and we're here, right? And I think actual history is a lot more up and down. There's been natural disasters, there's been world-ending events. We've had to recover, regrow the population. Again, as a civilization, as a human species, we usually choose to live in one area, and when a civilization crumbles, what do? You usually rebuild where that civilization fell, right? You use the existing infrastructure, use the existing area, and those areas are usually selected for, you know, beneficial reasons, for, you know, it's close to water, close to land that's fertile. So, you know, things get lost to time. And I don't think that we have a very good understanding of, you know, how time can erase things so quickly over, you know, millions of years. Let's just talk about thousands of years, right? Like, we can't comprehend that in one lifetime, right? It's really difficult for the human mind to just think of 1,000 years.
Yeah, no matter how much you think you figured it out, like it's never concrete ever, right? But that's the pursuit of science, right? You just continue to question everything.
And it's unfortunate, like why a lot of this stuff is banned and, you know, like it's not really promoted.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. Josh Gates, that Expedition Unknown was a great show.
That was an awesome show.
It's-
I'd recommend
what
it
is
for
that?
anybody to watch it.
Oh, so this guy, he's a cryptozoologist and he's got like some degree in like biology and stuff. But Expedition Unknown was basically so every episode was two things. One was something to do with like a lost civilization or a treasure, and the second half was always a cryptid. So like Bigfoot or Loch Ness monster or whatever. And then this guy and his team would go and like just try to track this stuff down. Some of the stuff that they've discovered is it's crazy. Like even in Egypt, they found like the new tombs, and on one of his episodes, they discovered a new tomb.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So he was there.
That's
So this guy's
crazy.
he's not like a bum or anything. Like, he's
Yeah,
legit.
Yeah.
Right? Check out Expedition Unknown, man. Josh
They're
Gates is
out there
awesome.
doing the work, right?
He's
Like,
be-
just
he's-
because you may not agree with some things that,
Yeah.
you know, somebody talks about, right? But there is like legitimacy to some of the things that they find.
Yeah, like the best way to describe Josh Gates, he's Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
He's pretty much Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones. He's down there somewhere. Right? Speaking of Indiana Jones, man, how bad is that new movie?
Is it?
What?
I don't know. I haven't
The reviews have
reviews coming in.
Yeah.
It doesn't look that good.
What is Lucasfilm done? Like are they finished?
I think so, personally. Like, what IPs
Like, what
do they
do they
really
have?
have?
Sorry?
Like,
What do they have?
What IPs do they have left?
I mean Star Wars and Indiana Jones are like the big ones, right? And they've screwed both of them up big time.
Yeah.
I think the minute it was handed over to Disney, I think that was a wrap.
Is Indiana Jones Disney?
Well, I thought they had Lucasfilms, because they got or was it only Star Wars rights?
I'm not sure because I don't know if Disney was like the distributor.
They may not be the distributor, but
anyway.
they have the creative control.
That Indiana Jones is just like a money grab thing, right? I think like they just got to stop, right, at some point.
When they announced it, I had no issue with it because I'm thinking, all right, you can't have a 103-year-old Harrison Ford doing this anymore. You're probably gonna do young Indiana Jones,
Mm-hmm.
right?
That's what I thought so too.
Which would have been really cool,
yeah.
right? Unfortunately, it could like Shia LaBeouf would have been it if they had just done it earlier.
That's
on.
unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually really enjoyed him. I don't know. People had this big issue with the Crystal Skulls. Which one was that?
Crystal Skulls.
What was it called?
Yeah, it was called.
Was it?
Legends of Crystal Skulls?
Yeah, like that. I thought it was fun. Like, there's a, look,
Fun.
that's another rabbit hole we can go down, right? The Crystal Skulls. But so what? Like when films try to do something that's just out of left field, let's say that was out of left field, right? So they talked about it was aliens, right? I don't see a problem with that.
But
right? Like, why does a film have to use the same formula over and over?
Yeah, but Indiana Jones has always been that though, right? Like even the Lost Ark,
Yeah.
right? Like that was, the Templars and the Lost Ark and all that stuff. The Nazis trying to
But
find
you know
it,
what
whatever.
This is what all movie franchises have to do, but it's all about money, right? So they're never going to do it. It's like Fast and Furious could have just been a trilogy or could have just been 2 movies, but now they just keep going,
Hey,
right?
It's family.
And then no, but Indiana Jones, right? Star Wars, like they just want to keep these franchise, Pirates of the Caribbean, they just want to keep it going forever, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like back in the day, there's the Matrix. There's like other than the new one, like you just leave it at the trilogy.
Yeah, just leave
Like,
it alone.
there is
man.
no
Just
need
leave
to
it alone.
Try to keep bringing these franchises.
I was
back.
so upset when they announced Matrix 4. Like, you made this amazing trilogy that was way, way ahead of its time. And I would say decades ahead of its time. And why ruin that? Why try to, like, you're right. It's just the easiest way to get people to rush to the box office. Like, like literally preying on nostalgia has become, part of the formula with these movie studios.
I'll tell you one franchise that hasn't suffered from that. James Bond.
But you know what they've done? What they've done good is they've had a couple different actors as James Bond, and it's like kind of different. It's not like
Yeah, wouldn't you say like James Bond, each film is its own film?
For the older ones, you can say that, but with Daniel Craig, you kind of see what they did with
that
it,
is,
right?
But
Yeah,
now
I get
they're
it.
gonna have a new James Bond
Yeah.
after Daniel Craig, right? And that's gonna be like its own thing.
But I think this kind of goes back to like our Marvel discussion. Like you're just doing the same thing with a different guy,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
But we don't hate it when it comes to Bond. For some reason, there's something about Bond that
No, but I think
when they
some characters and some franchises, you can do that. And I think those are special cases. Like I would say, yeah, James Bond is a special case that, you can.
that's what I'm saying. Like if they were to announce like the next Bond, and they're like, oh, new James Bond, it's Buddy Bro McDoo.
Oh, I wish
Like,
it was,
sick, yeah,
I
cool.
wish it was Idris Elba.
Yeah,
I would have loved him as
Yeah.
James Bond.
he actually came out this week and said that he's not against the fact to play Bond now.
Yeah.
Because he's like, at the beginning, he didn't like it because it became about race,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
It wasn't just about the character anymore.
Yeah.
But now he's like, you know what? I'm kind of over it. I'm open to the idea of playing Bond. So please,
Yeah, that'd be awesome, guys.
That would be
Idris
awesome.
Elba for
Yeah.
007.
But I like you said, like I think some franchises can do that and get away with it. But films that are like, like a singular story, you have chapter 1, maybe chapter 2, and on occasion you have 3 chapters. That's it. End it. Like Lord of the Rings. Do we need a 4th film? Let's say they try to make a 4th film tomorrow.
Imagine they bring it back and it's like, oh, there's another ring or something, right? Like
The riots that would start because of it. Because how do you even do that?
But they find a way. This is what we're talking about. Like they ruined the...
they ruined the trilogy to make a 4th one.
Like The Hobbit, 2 movies max. It should have been 2.
Yeah,
it
it
should
should've been
not
2.
have been 3.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the fact that you did 3 movies for The Hobbit and Smaug only had 40 minutes. What is up with that? This is one of the greatest literary characters of all time.
But I actually don't have an issue with, spin-offs, right? If you want to do spin-offs, that's fine, right? Maybe something hits, that's great. But you don't need a 4th, 5th, 6th part to the same thing. The same story. Like, there's a singular story, there's a beginning, there's an end. And now it's films, it's like, does anything ever actually end?
I think with a franchise that just completely loses itself in what it is and just becomes a Charlie Foxtrot,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
Like Fast and
fair
Furious,
enough.
we can
Yeah.
have 17 of these.
And we're going to get 17, I'm sure.
And
but-
we know exactly what we're watching. We do not care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? But when you have something like The Lord of the Rings where you know what this is, right? Just
Yeah,
leave
leave
it
it
at
alone.
what it is.
Another, I think, for your James Bond example, Tom Cruise coming out with Mission Impossible next week,
Oh, Reckoning?
right? Reckoning. That's another franchise that I think has gotten better as the films have started to come out.
It has,
Right?
man. Those last 2 Mission Impossible movies have
Yeah.
been
But-
awesome.
But that's when it comes down to like John Wick, right? What are we watching it for? It's just guns blazing, right? So they can do 10 movies and no one's going to get tired of it because that's what they're going to see,
Yeah.
right? With Fast and the Furious, it didn't start off like how it is now, with them becoming superheroes and,
Yeah.
Dom becoming Wolverine, he can heal and lift cars and super strength and all this.
Mega
Right.
like mega magnets in the middle of a street. Just
Yeah,
whatever,
so
like,
it's like, so I think like Fast, it evolved into one of those types of movies where it's just a fun movie now, right? Before, like the first 2 films I loved, right? It had meaning, and then as they create more movies, it loses its meaning, right? So if it's a franchise that you know what it is, Bond, you know what it is, right? Like this is the agent, whatever, whoever plays him, like we're gonna go watch it.
And those are the special cases, right? I think we can put Mission Impossible in that category.
But like Pirates is like,
Pirates, the first 3, guys, I got the box set at home. It's one of my favorite trilogies.
so good.
It's so good.
but
You could
now
it has
it's
such
like if there's a 4, a
rewatchability.
5, a 6, a 7, a 8,
Yeah, I just erased those out of my
eventually-
existence.
right? It's too much, right?
And Pirates is one of those kinds of movies where the characters and the actors were such a huge part of it
Mhm.
that you seeing anything else.
Yep.
Like what was it the Fountain of Youth one was the last one,
I think so.
right? Like not seeing Keira Knightley in that movie was kind of weird to me.
Mhm.
In all, like
Even
all
though
the
I've got-
ones after she was done after 3,
Yeah.
right? The original trilogy. After that, it's just you're losing. Like I guess they lived off Johnny Depp's character,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right? And that's what kept the franchise going. But it was unnecessary. Aside from a money grab, like were those films meaningful?
Yeah. It added nothing to what the original story, because the way they ended the third one was perfect.
Yeah, it was absolutely perfect. Like we didn't need to have another film, or like that's where they could have done a spin-off on, Captain Jack Sparrow or something, right? And they could have done it something different.
I'm telling you, it's just lazy. Like they get lazy. They're like, oh, we have something here. People are gonna watch it. Now it doesn't matter anymore. You don't have to create a good film. People are just gonna watch it
Well, that's
off of reputation.
that's Marvel's problem now.
That's where
Yeah.
Because now
Marvel
you've
is,
opened this can of worms with the multiverse that you don't even need to put any effort into the writing, because
Yeah.
nothing needs to make sense anymore. Be like, oh,
Exactly.
why did this happen? Oh, multiverse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you screw something up, we'll fix it with the multiverse next film.
Yeah. Speaking of Marvel, IGN just did their top. They ranked all the Spider-Man movies. So I'm
Ooh,
not gonna
animated included.
animated included. This is everything. So
Top 10 or top 5?
I'm gonna give you guys the top 5,
Okay.
right? And then you give me your reaction.
Wait,
to
let
it.
me guess. I'm gonna say
Hold on. You want me to just run them down and then just see how?
don't put them in any particular order.
Don't put them in any
No,
order.
no. Put them in order.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, it's the only
Yeah,
way to
yeah.
do it.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So the number 5, they have Homecoming.
Okay.
All right. Number 4, the original Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Number 2, Spider-Man 2, Tobey Maguire.
Mm-hmm.
Right, the one with Doc Ock. All right. Number 2, No Way Home.
No Way Home.
All right. Number 1, Into the Spider-Verse.
So number 1, I was gonna guess was Into the Spider-Verse.
I'm fine with that.
Is there one that you're kind of
Gotta think about
wondering
that.
why it's not in the top 5? Because I can find it and tell you where.
Why
they're
was
ranked.
Homecoming so high? Why do you guys think? For me, that should not be a top 3.
Homecoming was his first MCU one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Or was
far
that number
from
2?
Far From Home was the one where they go to Europe.
Yes. Okay, Homecoming. Yeah, Homecoming is the first one in the Marvel.
So I kind of see why they rank it there, because
But you can't just do that because it's a property of Marvel now.
well, I mean, it's because we got him in Civil War,
Yeah.
right? And it was done so well in Civil War, it carried over into Homecoming. I felt I thought Homecoming was great,
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was good, but like
right?
a top 3, like I'm just thinking out
No,
loud.
it's 5. It's 5.
So
did they
Homecoming
do
was number
this-
5.
Homecoming was 5.
Did
Okay.
they do this before the new movie, Spider-Verse one?
No, that's on the list.
That's number 1. No?
Across the Spider-Verse is 6.
Okay, across. Okay.
Into the
So that's number
one.
6.
Into
Okay,
the
okay.
Spider-Verse was the first one. So, but the Across the Spider-Verse is they placed it 6th. Far From Home was 7. That I think is a bit high.
Far From Home.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
one with Mysterio,
So where did they put number 3?
Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
That's 12.
So they put Spider-Man 3 12th with the 3 Peter Parkers.
No, that's no.
that's-
The Mad Multiverse.
No, the multiverse one was 2nd.
Okay.
That was No Way Home.
No Way. Oh, that was
Yeah.
No Way Home. Okay.
Spider-Man 3 is the one with the symbiote suit and Sandman and
Yeah.
and
I'm
and all
fine
that.
with the top 2.
What was number 3?
Number 3 was Spider-Man 2. The Doc Ock. That fight with Spider-Man and Dr. Octopus on the side of that building, bro.
I'm happy with the top 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
I take the top 3.
Spider-Man 2 was awesome.
Yeah. Spider-Man 2 was.
No Way Home. And then I got no problem with it. Into the Spider-Verse is the best Spider-Man movie ever, in my opinion.
Yeah. Same here. The top 2 for me are top 2. I got no
What do you say?
gripes with that.
What say you?
I'm good with it, but so I was looking at the list. They have Avengers on their list.
So yeah, it's kind of weird. They added what do they have here? They
So
have,
any film Spider-Man appeared in, I assume.
pretty much, because they have Infinity War at 8,
Yeah.
which
But I
isn't-
wouldn't count them. I wouldn't count them at all.
No, like
That's more of like an appearance,
Like-
not a Spider-Man film.
Civil War. They have 10th. I get that because you're finally introducing Spider-Man, but it's not a Spider-Man movie.
At that point, maybe they just don't have enough films to.
or just
Right,
or
the
you
top
could just
10.
rank
Yeah, the
whatever
top
his
5.
movies are.
I guess
That's
the
fine.
one that's missing is the Amazing Spider-Man 1.
Amazing Spider-Man is 9th.
Because the second one was with Electro, which, was a big miss. I know the big height, like going into the film, the talk was about the death of Gwen Stacy, and that's what they were trying to pull off,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and the impact of that would have. It's unfortunate because I think that was my favorite universe that they were trying to create, and I think it had a lot of potential, and with what they were trying to push.
I would get that into the top 5 just because I really like his Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Garfield?
I
Yeah.
think Garfield was such a great
I
Spider-Man.
really liked his
I'm gonna-
Spider-Man. So
I'm gonna throw him in the top 5. Whichever, I'm gonna take one of the 4th or 5th out, and put him in there.
Yeah, amazing. Like emotionally, Amazing Spider-Man was it was good, man.
Mhm.
There was a lot there. Like I know I missed on some areas, but there was a lot of potential there that unfortunately didn't get realized. But I gotta give just Garfield, a top 4 spot.
That guy can cry on cue, man.
Yeah.
He's good. So before we got started, we checked out that Rebel Moon trailers. If you guys don't know what Rebel Moon is, that's Zack Snyder's new movie that's coming out on Netflix. So when you watch the trailer, right away, both you guys were like, "Oh, this is kind of like Star Wars,"
Yeah.
right? So this was supposed to be Snyder's Star Wars movie. Disney said no because it was R-rated and it didn't have main characters.
You've got to be kidding me, man.
Yeah, so
Like,
that was the reason why they rejected Snyder from making this. So that's why he went off on, and then Netflix is like, do it.
Yeah.
I really hope franchises and studios start moving away from Disney and directors start moving away from Disney.
When is it coming out?
December 22nd.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
so that's
definitely
the end of
check
this
that
year. It looks pretty far into production from
Yeah.
what we saw.
Mm-hmm.
Check it out on YouTube, people. This thing looks wild.
Yeah, you definitely like.
Yeah.
We were just checking it out prior to the podcast. You definitely get the Star Wars vibe, so you can kind of see where Snyder was going. But it's it's also kind of hard to realize what the vision would have been because I'm sure after Disney told him,
Yeah,
gave
he
him the
must
hard
have had
no.
to change a lot
Yeah,
of
he's
things.
probably changed quite a bit.
But I think the core of the story that he wanted to tell is still intact,
Yeah.
right? But
Just
for
no
how-
lightsabers and no force.
Yeah, I guess. But for the longest time, how like we've been saying, we need an R-rated Star Wars.
That'd
like
be great.
just
Yeah.
some Darth Vader R-rated movie, him just
Yeah,
committing
man.
genocide across the galaxy. Like just give me something stupid like that, man.
And who better to direct something like that than Zack Snyder?
Then Snyder.
Right? He's
think-
built for that.
To be honest, I think there's no recovery for Star Wars now
No.
with Disney.
Under Disney, probably.
Under Disney.
I have not been a fan. I think everything under Disney has been a disaster. Aside from one film, which was
Rogue One.
Rogue One.
Rogue One was awesome.
Yeah. Rogue One was a great film. Obviously, the story that they were capturing was a pinnacle in Star Wars lore. So, they had a lot to work with, but they nailed it.
So did you guys watch that video that I sent you guys a little while back about the whole Luke Skywalker thing? How he kind of got ruined in the new, like his character was established as he never gave up hope, right?
Yeah.
And then in the new film, oh, I gotta kill this little child.
All he did was give
Right?
up hope.
Oh, he was so like this guy went so emo, and I don't understand. Like
that's what I mean by you gotta just leave franchises alone. Like if you're gonna continue the franchise, continue a different story. Don't try to leave where the first, like whether it's a 3-piece, like a 3-part movie, or it's like a 2-part. Like don't try to add on to what was already done. What's a classic?
Yeah.
Do something like fresh. Like how Zack
This is
Snyder
what I'm
tried to
talking
do,
about, right? Like spin-offs. Like this is why I think Rogue One was such a great film, right? It had everything you love about Star Wars. It was in the same universe, different characters, totally different time, and they nailed it.
yeah.
You know what Star Wars needs? I'll tell you right now what it needs. One, Disney's got to get rid of it. It's got to go to, I don't know what studio or where it's going to go, but somebody's got to pick it up. And they got to be like, after the first 6, there is no story. We're starting it fresh. Right? So everything that happened, everything they saw, Rogue One, all that stuff, I don't care. It never happened.
So you're hard rebooting Star Wars.
I would reboot it for after the first 6.
I think a reboot's eventually coming. Like, where else do these franchises usually go?
No, but I say that's where you start. You can keep the same thing, like, oh, it's after, like, the war or whatever, like, or this is happening, It could be close to that timeline. It could be far after it. But you just start a new story because that's the only way I would be interested in it.
But this thing with Star Wars where we have to stick to the main story. Like why? Like the lore of it is so deep.
That's what I mean.
That you can go anywhere with
So
it.
that's what I mean, right? So it's like if they left the original 6 alone, and they're just like, oh, there's this character, either in that same time period, and you tell that story, or whatever lore is out there for after.
You think that's what they're gonna try to do with Ahsoka?
I don't know. I really hope they don't ruin that character after Clone Wars.
Because if you're gonna do Thrall and you're gonna introduce him in Ahsoka, you have to start doing movies with this guy.
No, you definitely have to. This is what makes me nervous about these spin-offs and additional, especially TV shows, when they start with TV shows, because like Clone Wars really handpicked a character, and set up another character in the franchise, and now I feel like they're on the verge of, this could go either way. This could be a big hit, or it could really miss the mark. Like, can you really capture the Ahsoka from Clone Wars?
I did kind of get the vibe in Mandalorian when she did
you?
show up. Yeah.
I'm
Even it was for that one episode.
Yeah.
When I was watching it, I had the biggest smile on my face when
I did
she
too.
showed up on screen,
Don't
right?
get me wrong, I did too.
And then I'm like, if this is how they're gonna do her show, I'm on board.
But that face off in Clone Wars that she has with Darth Maul, and then with Vader,
Yeah.
like if they can translate even half of that in live action, like I'd be right there in the front row.
Disney, man, they really need. Look, you're a business. I get it. The entire point of business is to make money. It's your bottom line. You got merch you're gonna sell.
Mm-hmm.
You've got these movies you're gonna sell tickets, Disney Plus subscriptions, whatever. But at some point, there needs to be someone in that hierarchy to say, look, let's try to actually make something good.
I think. Do you guys know of any movie lately that's actually been a success, that has like been box office must see, has made overestimated, or like
Besides John Wick 4?
besides that, like look at all these movies that they're doing, like how they're like rebooting like Lion King, Little Mermaid, and all that stuff.
Yeah, they've been all
Like,
flops.
It's all fail.
Yeah.
It's all failing, right?
Oh,
And
we're talking specifically Disney?
I'm talking specifically
Specifically Disney. They've been swinging and missing for like the last 2 years.
Yeah, and then now they're laying off everyone.
Even what's that Pixar one that just came out?
Oh, the non-binary lead character. Yeah, that was
That
was
one
really gonna
just-
hit the mark.
It didn't even leave the runway, man.
Yeah.
Like it got to like here and then just.
I'm telling you,
yeah.
Disney is in shambles. I'm glad I
They
do not
really
have Disney Plus.
The harder they push and force the woke narrative down our throats with their films and media, like I think they're just digging their grave. Like they really have to take a step back.
Filming, they just gotta go back to like just make a film. Like no agenda, no hidden agenda. Just try to make a good film.
Yeah.
That's it.
Because you saw it near the end of the last Marvel phase, like how blatant it was starting to get.
Yeah.
Look, I don't care. I just don't want it for like when
it's so obvious when it's forced.
When it provides nothing to the narrative of the movie.
Yeah,
like the scene in Endgame.
I knew you were gonna go there.
Right?
I knew you were gonna go there.
That did nothing. Why does Captain Marvel need the backup of all the chicks? She's the most powerful character in the entire MCU.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why does she need Mantis backing her up?
Yeah, like this whole show of woman power, just come
Like-
on. That scene didn't add anything to the film.
You know what scene did more for like that whole like woman power thing more than that one?
Mm-hmm.
When Thanos headbutt Captain Marvel and she just stood there and took it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The
That was-
one she had with Thanos was a lot more powerful than forcing a scene with all the women get together.
That was way more badass.
Just have Captain Marvel go ham. That's it.
Just have him fight for 5 minutes, man.
And that's the stuff I'm talking about, right? Like when it's forced, it's so obvious it pops off the screen. Like that's what turns off your audience. And people don't. And I think that this animated film with this non-binary character is like prime example of why, like, didn't make any money. It was a blip on the radar.
Yeah, there's a guy on YouTube who really put that very well. It's what's his name again? The guy who gets drunk and does reviews. Oh my god, I forgot his name. But whatever, this guy just gets drunk and he just like does reviews on movies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And this is exactly one of the subjects that he talked about. But the way he put it though, you just sit there and you're like, I didn't think about it that way. This guy, Critical Drinker. That's his name. Go check him out on YouTube. Critical Drinker. But he specifically talked about like Marvel's problem when it comes to that stuff. But when you listen to how he's doing it, he's not coming off as like misogynistic or anything. He's just coming off as like a fan who just wants to watch a good movie.
Yeah.
Right. And he's just pointing out all the flaws and like, you want to do it cool, but you did it wrong.
Exactly.
Right. You want to do this, that's fine, but you missed the mark.
Yeah, like
this is how you should have done it.
Yeah, it's
I think-
fine
yeah.
that you want to get that message across, but it's how you're doing it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I think we're also aware these days now that everyone's trying to push a narrative that we see it more when it happens, right? It's easier to identify.
One of the best points that he made that really stuck with me was when like what is it, strong female characters, what they're calling it now, right? He's like, in old movies, like when you go back to like with like Ripley and Alien, you know, Sarah Connor and Terminator, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, that was done perfectly.
Strong female leads
Because
that could hold a film.
Right? They could hold a film, but also when it came to like the physical stuff, the way that they fought makes sense.
Yeah.
Right? Like they know a 125-pound woman isn't going to beat up a 230-pound muscle bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But the way that Sarah Connor does it, she uses her environment. She's smarter than the guy. She
Yeah.
knows how to do it, right? You're not fist fighting a dude and winning, right? When that happens, like I get it, it's a movie. I think we're thinking too much into it, but you have to put a little bit of logic behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
you can't entirely remove logic, right? Like, I get, it depends on the film, but
Like some of the Batman animated movies, I have a real big beef with because when they have Damian beating the crap out of guys, I'm like, come on. I understand you got trained by Bruce and you've been with the monks for a while,
Yeah.
but you're like 14,
Yeah, you're a kid.
right? You're not beating up hired goons,
Yeah.
right? Like some of that stuff, everyone's guilty of it.
yeah, it's like when you see trained Marines coming in after this one character and she's just throwing them around and you're like, really?
The only one who can do that is Captain America in an elevator. One of the best fight scenes I've ever seen in my
Yeah,
life.
Yeah.
like that's a great scene.
It really was.
It was like 8 guys in an elevator. He was
Yeah.
just beating them all up.
And that's
man.
very believable, right? It's who she is. It's the character. This is what we call a lot of the character building has kind of disappeared.
Yeah. Let's hope they turn it around, man, because this phase that they have coming up, I can't believe what they have lined up. So this year, Secret Invasion's already out. Loki's at the end of the year. Oh, the Marvels is this year too.
Is that film?
The Captain Marvel and Ms. Marvel and Rambo.
The trailer's been out.
Yeah. But I'm going down this list and there's nothing that's making me go, oh, snaps. This is going to be awesome. Not until, like, where even are we? Like, how far down am I going?
Like you're probably in 2025, man.
I'm in 2025 and I'm looking at Kang Dynasty. That's 2026.
Wow.
Sorry.
Wow.
Right? And you got Fantastic Four in 2025. Blade's also in 2025.
Unless it's a fresh IP that they're coming out with, like Fantastic Four, Blade, maybe a new introduction of a team.
Like what's this year?
There's really nothing
This year, Secret Invasion, Loki, Marvels, and X-Men 97. X-Men 97.
What is that?
So they're continuing the cartoon from the 90s.
Okay.
And they're
Okay.
introducing that at the end of the series,
Yeah. So it's continuing from the 97 X-Men.
and they're gonna
Okay,
be
okay.
just put into the Marvel universe.
This is an animated show.
This
Oh,
separate.
Yeah,
okay.
this has
Yeah,
nothing to do with like unless they do the whole connection thing again, like
Yeah.
whatever.
So
But,
that's interesting, and then Loki, I'm interested in. The other two, I do not care about.
What If is getting a second season, which is great because I really enjoyed the first season of What If.
Yeah. What if's a cool concept?
Yeah.
I think they hit the bullseye with that in the first one.
Because that's how you do multiverse,
Yeah.
right? Like What If?
That's how you know the different versions.
Yes.
You don't have to do a movie about it. You just see the different versions.
Yeah.
You know the stories.
Like, what was one of the episodes of What If where was it T'Challa was Star-Lord?
Yeah.
Guy, that was awesome.
They did
Right?
some really cool stuff with that.
Yeah. One of the show, like, I think Agatha's show is going to be interesting.
Honestly, maybe it's just fatigue. Like I'm just all out on Marvel right now.
Dude, this is nuts. We're in 2023. 18 projects in 3 years.
Yeah.
This is exactly what we talked about.
That's too
Yeah,
much,
that's what we've been talking about a few episodes ago.
That's 18 with confirmed dates.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 6 to be determined. So 24 projects.
In 3 years, man. That's
insane.
yeah, that's pushing.
Look,
a
they
lot.
have so much going on at the same time, and then this is why it's just, I think it's a complete hot mess.
Yeah, it's.
They're
a
just
mess
trying
now.
to push out anything, just because people are gonna be like, oh, like we've hooked them in now, right?
Yeah, but
and
then
they're gonna want to watch it.
yeah, but we're also the idiots that keep watching this junk too. So we're part of the problem.
Guys, jump on my bandwagon. I'm telling you, man.
I-
none of these things are making me want to see any of these projects.
In theaters, I rarely watch any of these movies in theaters anymore, unless it's something like very specific, like a big movie. Like on that list, there's probably until 2025, there's nothing I'm gonna be watching in theaters.
Yeah, until that Blade
Right.
or Fantastic Four comes out, like I'm not even thinking Marvel.
Like legitimately, Deadpool 3, Blade, and Fantastic Four are the only ones
Yeah.
I actually care about.
And
Those
those
are
are because it's like they're fresh. You're like rebooting, like, Blade,
Yeah.
and then you're doing the same thing with Fantastic Four. Now it's just like, okay,
Yeah.
now it's a
'cause
fresh movie.
Yeah,
Let's see
we're
what you got.
interested to see a fresh start.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
on
how
those
do you start
characters.
it?
And I'm really interested to see how like Deadpool R-rated under Disney's gonna be,
Oh,
right? Because
yeah.
they did say okay to R rating,
Yeah.
but just to see like
Yeah.
how like are they really gonna push it like they did the last one,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or the first two, sorry, because the first two are
now
great.
that you mentioned that, I had forgotten that Disney was.
Or in classic Disney fashion, they'll get cold feet at the last second and they'll just make it PG-13 again.
I think they're gonna push to as much as they
If
can.
they do that, then definitely not going to watch that. In
No, they
theaters.
won't. They won't completely. There's no way. I'm pretty sure Ryan Reynolds wouldn't even.
No, he'd be like, all right, I'm done. Like, we're
Yeah.
not gonna do it, which is unfortunate. He's got a soccer team to run now, which is
Yeah.
great. Yeah. Which is great, man. What a great story that is. Like, have you guys paid attention to like Wrexham?
No.
No? So these guys, this team, they're the oldest team,
Mm-hmm.
right? If I'm not mistaken, one of or the. Him and Rob McElhaney, the guy from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, they bought this team for $2 million.
Yep.
Right? From the second they bought this team, what they've done with it. So they've been playing non-league for I think 15 years,
Yeah.
right? And they this year puts so much investment into the team that they got promoted. They're back into league football,
Wow.
which is huge, right? I
Yeah.
think they're like in the 3rd division now,
Yeah.
right? But it's massive.
That's a massive success
And
story.
Wrexham's so popular because of these guys. Like all this revenue starting to come in
Yeah.
now, sponsorships, and their games are on TV. Who would have thought a non-league team was going to be on TV?
Yeah.
Right? And these guys legitimately care. Like these guys are owners that care about wanting to see this team succeed.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They didn't buy Wrexham to make money. You don't buy a non-league team to make money. They actually
Yeah.
cared about it.
Like they want to grow it. They want to.
Yeah.
Like,
They want to grow it. You guys got to see the
Yeah,
stadium.
you gotta have a passion.
yeah,
you know,
their
project.
stadium is like literally like a high school stadium. It's like 3,000 fans or something.
That's crazy.
Right? As well. Speaking of soccer, big ups my guy Fabregas, retired this week. That's why I got the jersey up.
I saw the jersey up.
Yeah, so he finally called it a career.
A lot of the guys we grew up with are pretty much at the end of their careers.
Yeah, this guy made his debut with Arsenal at 16,
Wow.
first team, and he did so well for us. Unfortunately, we couldn't get this guy a trophy, but whatever, it's fine. Speaking of soccer, did you guys hear what happened with Mbappe?
What's he up to?
Yeah, what's
Okay.
going on over there?
So we talked about, I think, PSG on one of our first episodes and how they're in shambles.
Yeah, they're in shambles.
This is probably going to make it even worse. So he allegedly has said that he's not going to sign an extension and he's going to let the contract run out till 2024 and leave for free.
Okay.
Right?
There's no way they let him go for free.
So that's what the chairman of PSG said. They're like, look, we don't want this guy to go, right? It sucks to lose the greatest player, the best player on the planet for free,
Mm-hmm.
So either this guy signs an extension now, right? Or he goes.
You gotta put that
Like
out
now.
there.
Like
Yeah,
like we need to sell you now.
yeah.
Or if you want to stay, you have to sign an extension. So one of two things is gonna happen with Mbappe. Either he signs the extension and he sticks around in Paris for a couple more years, or he's gone by the end of the summer.
I'm gonna bet on he's gone. Like I agree with the owner. You gotta
That's
come out.
crazy.
You gotta put that out there because this is you gotta be clear with your fans, right? This is the player making the choice,
Yeah, because
and you gotta get everything you can for you cannot lose the best player on the planet.
yeah, and you as an owner who put in like 160 million euro, whatever the hell it was for this guy,
Mm-hmm.
you want to make your money back,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which he probably can because Mbappe hasn't even hit like prime, like he's almost there,
Mm-hmm.
and you can probably sell this guy for 200 million.
Yeah.
Right, you got to make something back. But as Mbappe, like I'm not a fan of players who hold teams hostage.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
Is this common in soccer?
not like you've seen where guys put in transfer requests and they're very adamant about it. Like
Yeah.
you need to sell me. Like I want to go. I need to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Right. But you don't see a guy basically say, "Hey man, I'm just gonna write out my contract, leave for free."
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
But that's basically telling your team and your owner, like, I appreciate you buying me for 160, but it didn't work out.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Yeah.
Right. And the owner, I don't think there's anything wrong with what he said.
No, I think he's right on the mark, right? Like
Mhm.
you have to get, like if not your money back, like you got to get something back, right?
That's his job. He has
Yeah.
to. Yeah.
Like I don't think you're the owner of the team anymore.
You're a
like,
bad
that-
owner if you
Yeah.
just let that go. right?
Yeah, like you're not this guy's friend. Like,
Yeah.
oh, this is how you feel, no problem, buddy. Go. 160 million, I don't care.
As we say,
Mhm.
that's business. That's business in sports.
It's business, man. But it's kind of like I'd like to see more of that in North American sports, where owners come out and play hardball with their players.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I think that the biggest example is the NBA, right? They
You'll
become-
never see that.
Yeah, they
The
it's
owners
like
are
that-
so soft.
the players run the league, right?
Yeah.
And I think you don't really see that
You'll-
in the NFL.
We haven't ever seen a owner or like a team take a stand on one of these players. The minute someone demands a trade, it's like, okay, where do you want to go? And it's like,
yeah,
okay,
give
we'll
me
work
your
something out.
give me your
Yeah.
list,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Well,
where
and
where
they'll
do you
work
feel more
something out.
comfortable?
Yeah, they don't
going?
even care
Yeah.
if they get the best package. It's just, hey, let me make you feel better. Like,
Yeah.
it's mind-boggling, like where we've come.
Like that was the whole Bradley Beal thing, right?
Yeah.
Like the return they got for him was pretty soft,
Yeah.
right? But they had no choice.
Yeah, the whole thing is it's just like, oh, they're gonna go to this team and be unhappy. It's like, okay, if you're like the Kevin Durant thing, right? He's like, oh, I want to go to Phoenix, I want to go to here, right? Or like he picks like 2-3 teams. Now, if another team, if you're another team and you're like, I have 4 years of him, is he really just gonna sit out and do nothing? Like, let's say he goes to Charlotte. And Charlotte can give them whatever pieces, and it's a good deal for both pieces, for both franchises. Why not do it as Charlotte? But the owner is just thinking, oh, he's just not going to play for me. But it's like
when did it
this
become...
this guy's a potential, like he's a Hall of Famer. I have him for 4 years. Do I really think he's going to come in and just sit down and not try and do nothing? He's going to ruin his image, his career. Like,
Yeah.
like,
But we
you
allow
gotta
that
play.
now. Like,
No, but you
it's
gotta
al-
play harder, like
But
hardball
but,
with the
like,
players a little bit.
Didn't we just see this with James Harden? Like, he just decided to not play, show up fat, overweight. I don't even know if that was real or he was just wearing 10 shirts, Like,
Yeah.
throwing away games. Like, when did that become acceptable? Like, fans have... Like, I feel like this change in player empowerment with the NBA, like, fans have become sympathetic to these guys.
That's the biggest contrast between North American fans and European like soccer fans. There's the fans here don't realize how much power they have,
Yeah.
right? Because when they wanted to try that Super League, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
it took less than a day. The announcement came out from all these teams, hey, we're starting a Super League. Fans were like, nope,
No, that's
Yeah.
not
that's not
happening.
happening.
Yeah.
Less than 24 hours. What are the teams doing? Every single team, except for 3, put out a video with the owners apologizing to the fans. Our bad. We made a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Here it's like, oh, this guy's doing this. I hate this. I hate this. Hey, man, you want to go watch the game tomorrow?
Yeah.
Right? Hey, man, you want to go watch the game next week?
But like,
Yeah.
Oh, this guy's doing this, doing that.
not
Yeah.
trying, like, you're getting paid millions of dollars. That's your job. Like, we all have jobs. We go to work. We're expected to perform. And for somewhere, like, that got lost in the NBA, where, like, if you're not quote unquote happy where you are, it's okay to sit out and sulk and not play.
But
your best.
everyone's allowed the players to do it. So if you're a player, you're going to do it until you can't do it no more. Right?
Yeah. But this has to end at some point. It has to. It can't go like this, man. You can't sustain this if it, as a
Like,
league.
look at the Dame thing. Now, he hasn't straight up come out and say, you know, Miami only, like, trade me there, this, that, right? But Dame tried so hard to be like, I want to stay in Portland. I'm not, you know, I don't want to demand a trade. I don't want to demand a trade. But look what happened. He's demanding a trade, right? And now it's like Miami's like the only team out there. It's just like, he tried
joke.
so hard for his image to be like, no, I'm staying.
It's too
now
late
it's
for
just
him,
like,
man.
A little bit's a joke
Yeah.
though, right? Like, a guy can just become a free agent and go wherever the hell he wants.
Yeah, it's
But
just
what
how
happens is they want their max, they want their
Yeah.
money, then demand where they want to go.
my biggest problem with Dame is he was in a very comfortable situation where there was like zero pressure on him.
mm-hmm.
Right? You moonwalk into the playoffs every year. You win a round or two, hit a couple of buzzer beaters. The city loves you, right? And that's it. That's fine. You make the playoffs every year. That's all, like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If he actually cared to like really win, he would be banging the door down of ownership and be like, you need to bring these guys in.
Yeah.
I want to win, and I want to win in Portland. It's not like, oh, we'll see what happens next season.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even after they traded McCollum, he should have been like, nah, that's not cool, man. Why do we trade this guy?
Yeah.
Keep him, bring somebody in. But CJ's gone. He didn't bat an eye. Oh, you know, this is the business. It sucks, whatever happens. Now you're going to sign your extension, get your bag, and then 3 days later be like, trade me?
What I don't understand is, so he always said, I want to win here. And then why does he want to trade now? Because he's just like, oh, I don't want to be a part of a rebuild, whatever. But his entire, like, every year, the last, like, couple of years, they've been in the same spot. Like, they've had no chance of winning. So it's like, did you really want to win? Or is it now?
That's exactly my point.
Yeah,
right?
is it now that, oh, you're 32 and it's just like, oh, I gotta get, like, maybe he doesn't, he maybe just wants to leave because he wants to leave, right?
He's probably seeing all these guys in the league around him that have been in the league for what, 3 years winning rings. He's like, brag, man.
Yeah.
Like, where's mine?
I don't have a problem with him asking for a trade. Like, I think that's his right.
I
but
think,
That's
again,
yeah.
it's up to the owner, like we said, right? Like,
but if you're
can't
gonna
just-
do it, like, I don't like the timing of it.
That's
If you're
it.
gonna do it way earlier.
Yeah.
Do it like after
What-
McCollum's gone. Oh, what are you doing? Let's try to win. Oh, you guys aren't trying to win? Then get me out of here.
Yeah, like, why are you signing an extension just if you knew you were going to ask for the trade?
Yeah, that's where I'm saying they want to get paid too, right? Like,
But he
these
could have
guys-
just been like, sign and trade.
fair
Right?
enough,
Like, I want to
right?
go to Miami,
But
ask
these
them what they
guys-
want to give me.
These
and sign
guys
and trade.
want their guaranteed money, then they want to ask exactly what team they want to go to.
Because he's on the books for what? He's making
4
dumb
years.
money, right?
200
So
plus.
4 years, I think.
So he's got the super max, so he's making like 50.
I think he's
Yeah.
4 years, 214. Yeah.
Miami's going to pay that? Probably. Wait,
Yeah, they can.
is Jimmy on a super max?
Jimmy is on the maximum he can make.
So he's on just a max. So he's like that
Yeah.
35,
Yeah,
40
Miami
range,
can
right?
do it. It's like what? They only got one max player.
You know, Portland's probably going to ask for Tyler Hero.
Yeah,
I'd do it.
Yeah, you got to give up Tyler Hero.
Yeah.
Draft picks, Tyler Hero. Who else can Miami give up?
Miami has lost a couple of pieces, and now
Yeah, Vincent went to the Lakers. He's going to win a championship there.
they're going to have to do some work. You know, Phoenix undercover, they somehow got a bench.
Yo, Eric Gordon the other day? I couldn't believe
Yeah,
that.
Utah's on the
Guys.
bench.
Utah, they got
Yeah.
Utah too.
Guys, I don't know about Eric Gordon. I watched this guy unable to buy a 3 in the playoffs.
No. He just didn't take them. That corner 3, he should have taken more of them. He just wasn't taking.
Yeah, he's automatic from the corner.
If you guys
But,
say so, from what I saw, I
No,
think,
but with the money, they had no money, and they're just signing all these guys with like no money.
yeah, because obviously guys want to come and play with, this team, right?
No,
You got
but-
Kevin Durant.
They
Yeah,
did
that-
something that I didn't think was possible. They actually look respectable now. Obviously, they don't have one of the best benches, but
Yeah.
with
fair
what
enough.
they could do,
Yeah.
they did very well.
You still need to sign 6 guys, and you're already way over the cap.
Yeah,
Because they're probably gonna lose their mid-level exception too, right? Because they're like dumb over.
yeah, they're way over.
What is
but
it? 214
care.
million on 4 guys?
I really think though,
Crazy.
like it's fine. Like I'm fine with their team, but if they had a real big other than Aiton, like then they would be scary.
Trading Ayton is the only avenue that they have right now to actually maneuver that roster.
It's just I can't think of a. of a
Remember, you're
good
gonna have to
replacement.
replace him, right? Yeah, you need a big.
Like
so
that's the thing. Like you want to replace him with a big,
yeah,
right? And I don't see any bigs out there really.
Yeah, well, they can't have Pirtle because we got him. Bow.
Yeah.
Let's go Raptors.
yeah.
They
what's-
could use. You know who would be better than Aiton there, like a Brook Lopez or something. Maybe I don't know. Actually, no. I take that back.
I think
Brook
he could fit.
Lopez.
I think he could fit.
Brook
Look at
Lopez.
it, I
He can
just-
shoot. He can extend the floor. He's great for
no, I
defense.
just, I want a real inside presence there.
Which one's Brook again?
Like,
Is that Milwaukee?
yeah,
And Robin Lopez, he's the other.
he's a
twin.
nobody.
He's a nobody.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, Robin Lopez is the one with the sideshow bob haircut.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, now I remember. Yeah. All right, guys. Episode 8. Wrap this one up. Man, did we go crazy on this one?
Yeah, we covered a lot of topics we can definitely break into over the next couple of weeks.
Telling you,
There's a
man.
lot of meat on the bone, especially with the ancient aliens topics.
Oh, you know what? Episode 9. Let's deep
Ancient
dive
a-
into that one
Ancient aliens and crop circles.
you know what?
Let's do a big
I would
deep
really
dive.
want to get inside your guys' head on the pyramid stuff.
next week.
Yeah.
Next week, we'll
Next
we'll-
episode.
we'll
Let's
dive
tease it
into
now.
that one. Yeah.
Let's tease it now. We'll dive into that next week.
All right, guys. So I think that's a first. We've actually decided a topic beforehand and not just winging it like we
Yeah.
usually do. All right, ancient aliens, pyramids next week. Let's go. All right, thanks everyone again for tuning in, listening, watching wherever you are. Please subscribe to the channel, YouTube and Spotify. Like and share. Follow us on Insta, Twitter. We'll have everything in the description below.
Yeah, we're still dropping those beats, right? For the summer beats.
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
summer sound. You know what? I was thinking about that today. We should compile this into an actual Spotify playlist,
Oh
yeah,
we can
let's do it.
right? So we'll just whatever we've already done, we'll just throw it on there, and then once
Mhm.
we put it up, we put on the playlist. Belligerent summer. All right, Belligerent summer playlist.
Belligerent summer
If you're on
playlist. There you go.
Spotify, yeah, you can follow that.
Yeah.
We'll do that. All right, peace out, everybody.
Peace out, guys.
Appreciates.
Till the next one.